Hold on. Before you watch the rest of the video, I have a new site on Tippy where you can see lots of unseen videos and more. Link in the description. Don't miss out. Join the team and enjoy the video.
Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Preschool District hereby accepts the agenda as presented. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Okay, brings us to our superintendent's report.
Thank you, Sarah. Members of the board, community members. My remarks tonight will be brief. So they say good things come to those who wait. And we did wait for longer than we expected for our new gym floor, but I am happy to report that it looks fantastic, and we were on it on Monday. And this is some kindergarten students on our new center getting ready for a game. So it looks great. Thank you again to the community for your patience, also for supporting it in our operating budget. We're going to enjoy this very much so in the coming months. We also have our high school visits. I just want to make an announcement. I know we had an 8th grade evening with our parents at the end of our middle school back to school night. And just so everybody knows, our student tours for Howden are on November 6th at 9 a.m. There's a parent presentation on November 6th at 6 p.m. For Putnam Valley, the student tours are November 13th at 9:30 a.m. The parent presentation is November 18th at 6 p.m. And for O'Neill High School, the student tours are November 21st at 9:30 a.m. And the parent presentation is on November 19th, 6:30 p.m. And if families have any questions about it, Krista Diego is the person that they call. This has already been sent to parents, but I wanted to make a public announcement on it. We're really excited about these visits that are coming up in the month of November. We had an incredibly successful back to school night for our middle school last week and for our elementary school. I want to thank our teachers who did a remarkable job creating a presentation in an environment that
ran the audit, this summer for the school district. So I'm going to let Claudia take about 75% of the presentation, and I'll take the remainder. So what we're going to discuss tonight is just some required communications that we are, as auditors, required to provide to you. And then most of the focus will be on the results, the financial results for the year ended June 30, 24. So we'll go over revenues and expenditures, and then we'll take a look at some of your major revenues. We'll give you a multi-year view of those revenues and expenditures. And then really, I think the most important thing is the fund balance portion, where you ended up for the year. And then we'll conclude with the discussion of some debt service. So with that, I will turn it over to Claudia.
So just a couple of required communications. So just to go over the responsibilities of management and those charged with governance, which is the board. You must select and implement the appropriate accounting policies, fairly present the financial statements in accordance with U.S. GAAP, difficulties in conducting our audit, no uncorrected misstatements, no disagreements with management, and then once again, we issued a clean, unmodified opinion. And then we'll go over the summary of the revenues and expenditures for your general fund. So as you can see, we'll go through the first column, the original budget. We budgeted revenues of $1.8 million, expenditures of $12.5 million. Other financing sources and uses, those are the transfers to other funds. And then $55,000 includes $45,000 transfer to the capital projects fund, which was voter approved, resulting in the fund balance for the budget of $685,000. And that's what you use to balance your budget using your own fund balance in order to get your balance to budget. And then we'll look at your actual column. Do you actually exceeded your budget for the revenues by $1.6 million, coming in at $13.5 million. And you had savings in your expenditures of $890,000, coming in at $11.6 million. Once again, you'll see your transfers, it was $50,000. Once again, that included your $45,000 in capital projects, and then a mandated 20% transfer to the special aid fund for related New York State aid. So you resulted in net change in fund balance of $1.8 million. So you added $1.8 million to your fund balance. resulting in an ending fund balance of $5.4 million. And then we'll go over your major revenues. As you can see, you have your property tax, your levy of $10.5 million. You have the STAR aid, which comes from the state. But let's focus on the major changes in your state, where your revenues exceeded your budget. So your use of money in property, you budgeted $9,000, you came in about $383,000. And that's related to the school district invested monies in your class. That's where you invest in related U.S. treasuries and such. And that came with interest rates about 4 to 5%. So that's where you saw a great increase in revenues this year. And as we all know, interest rates are starting to come down, so we anticipate that revenue source come down in the future years. You have your state aid, which is given to you by New York State. That includes your basic formula aid, your BOCES aid, excess cost aid. And then you'll see your miscellaneous and other. You budgeted $91,000, came in about.
Now we move on to the board discussion of board goals. So coming out of our retreat, I took the suggestions that were sent to me and compiled a document of draft board goals.
You did a good job. Usually, you know, they're really learning.
I'm trying, well, Dusty did that actually, just to be very clear, I sent an email and Dusty created everything else. So no credit goes to me on any of the Google documents.
Okay.
I did not.
That makes more.
Yes. But I did take this, so goal 1 was where we got the most feedback, and that's the thing we spent the most time talking about. So we kind of had 3 different, should we all agree this evening that this should be our lead goal, although really what order they're in necessarily should dictate that. I have innovative curriculum development, or next generation learning, or future ready curriculum. So we can pick our favorite language on that. And then if you'll just look down at the objectives, these are just all objectives. They kind of, some of them kind of say the same thing, but it really depends on what language we're looking for and what we're looking for in this goal. And then when you go to goal 2, it's community engagement. This is largely the same as what we've had in the past. And then responsible fiscal stewardship, again, similar to what we've talked about in the past in terms of finance. So, any thoughts? Let's start with goal 1. Any thoughts on where we, coming out of the retreat, where we want to end up with this? Does any of this language speak to anyone? We should pick one, shouldn't we?
I'm partial to next generation learning. I think that was Greg's suggestion initially during our retreat, and it makes a little bit more sense to me than, I mean, innovative curriculum development.
I do think that, that adding A and B, combining it with the language of, environmental change. And I think objective D, as you said, which will be B, is encourage and hire the key staff to meet objective A is fine.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstention. We will adjourn executive session with no further action being taken. Thank you very much. Thank you for this, Dusty.
You're welcome. You want to sign that, and then I'll shut down. Yeah.
What?
Sign that now.
I didn't cause a problem.
No.
When you log back in.